I am Anthony Atamanuik, and welcome to Debate Porridge. Tonight, the MSNBC Republican debates. Sure, they're 1 week old, but like meat kept in a refrigerator, they only get grayer and more tasteless.
The GOP presidential candidates debate. From the Ford Community Theater in Dearborn, Michigan, here are your moderators.
The thriller in vanilla. To host it, the visually stimulating Money Honey. I don't even think she has an actual name. I think she actually might be an animated real doll. Ron Paul. You know, you gotta love this guy. Anyone who wants to abolish the CIA and the IRS, I will vote for.
For economic downturn.
Fred Thompson, his first debate, his first appearance. He is the Obi-Wan Kenobi of Republican candidates appearing out of nowhere to save the party. He is about as prepared for this debate as I am for doing this debate porridge. Okay? And that's okay for me to do it because I'm doing it as a web video in a living room. This guy's running for the presidency of the United States. Tom Tancredo, or Robert Blake, for those of you who don't know his name or want to easily identify him. He had a great moment in the debate when he summed up what he is all about, which is just not letting people into this country. He has no other policies. I've never heard him say anything other than we got to keep people from coming into this country. We've got to keep them out. I'm Tom Tancredo. I'm also Robert Blake. This is a David Lynch movie. Pick up your phone and you're going to hear yourself on the line. Giuliani does a lot of this. He does a lot of the like, I'm going to make my point and then I'm going to go like this. I'm going to widen my eyes out and then I'm going to be like this. And then I'm going to go like this. And then I'm going to go like this. He's so disconcerted with the other candidates that he had a debate with Hillary Clinton who wasn't even there. Mike Huckabee might be the tortoise in this tortoise and hare's Republican nomination race. And so I think people should watch for Mike Huckabee. Lost a lot of weight, talks like a candidate, has the support of the Christian right. He is a real contender to sneak away with the nomination if either Romney or Giuliani makes kind of a major fall. What if the reality we live in, the 9/11, Bush is president, the two campaigns, Republican, Democrat, everything, all of history, from when John McCain was interred in a Vietnamese prison camp to now, has been a hallucination of McCain's. And what we're actually in right now is the fevered hallucinations of a tortured and bound John McCain. Because that would be the only way to explain how he's still running for president or even allowed to be a participant in the campaign, is if it was a personal fantasy of his, Mitt Romney.
Do you have anything to say about his debate showing, how he debates?
How does he debate?
Yeah, what is, like, you were talking about the debate.
I've decided to be contentious for this one. First off, Duncan Hunter, I wish Duncan Hunter was made out of brownie.
You know, a couple of years ago, when our guys were getting hurt with roadside bombs in Iraq,
I would eat him. Duncan Brownie, you see Duncan Brownie, you want to have a big puffy cake with Duncan Hunter. You want Duncan Hunter to sit in a wicker chair and read you a children's story while he's batting off Mexicans who are trying to enter our country. And Sam Brownback. He left the race because he ran out of money. He only had $94,000 left in his campaign coffers, which is $94,000 more than Mike Gravel has. Mike Gravel only has Confederate money at this point. What Brownback said is he said, my yellow brick road to the White House has fallen short. I would say your yellow brick road hit a yellow brick wall, buddy. Yellow brick road does not lead to the White House. It would lead to the Emerald City, and the Emerald City is in Iraq, which is that you want to go to Iraq, but the yellow brick road wouldn't take you there. I don't know. I'm glad he withdrew. As far as the debate goes, there was a lot of cross-talking. It was the same kind of, Republican debates are always like polite and like, you know, really contentious against Ron Paul. And I love that term, prioritize. We got to keep our priorities straight. Now, priorities apparently are sending our own citizens to go die, to kill more other people in a foreign country, but not to let kids in this country have health care, and not to fund education, not to fund the basic fundamental things that allow our society to function. Let's have a few more brownbacks. Let's have a few more people drop off. Duncan Hunter, Tancredo, take my advice. Get out of there. Just get out now. You've made your point. And they're all just vying for positions in, you know, a Giuliani or a Romney White House, which is a myth to begin with. Quite frankly, I'm getting winded having to discuss all these minor people. And I would like to get to the major leagues. Let's get down to 2 or 3 candidates. Let's get to the real deal. Let's get to the debate Porridge. Duncan Hunter sounds like a made-up president in a Nelson DeMille novel, okay? Like Lionsgate, like President Duncan Hunter signed the Mars Exploration Act of 2049. He's fake. Fred Thompson's wife, her name is like, I want to say Tammy Hagar, even though that's not it, but she looks like a female version of Sammy Hagar. You see, with Kucinich and his wife, who's got the tongue ring and the red hair, you're rooting because Kucinich looks like the Hobbit. So you're supporting him because you're like, Kucinich, the fact that he's even getting laid is amazing.